back to my channel. Today we're going to be doing a review on the MAYBELLINE X Puma lipsticks. If you do want to see a review and swatches, please keep watching. This video is not only a lip swatch video of the new MAYBELLINE X Puma collection, but I'm also going to be comparing these matte liquid lipsticks to the original Superstay by Maybelline. This MAYBELLINE X Puma collection, they did come out with 5 new shades. I was looking at my MAYBELLINE Superstay Matte Ink collection and I was like, wait, these are kind of similar shades into what Maybelline just released. We are going to be doing comparisons as well, so let's get started with the lip swatches. I do want to show you guys, looking at these two side by side, what they look like. This is the new MAYBELLINE X Puma and then this is the original. They both have 5.0 milliliters or 0.17 fluid ounces, which is surprising because you would think that you would get less product in the MAYBELLINE X Puma than in this, but it's actually the same amount of product, it's just a little bit taller. And these do retail for the same exact price. They both retail for $9.49 each. Here's a closer look at what all the 5 shades do look like. I do love the packaging. I actually do like that these are smaller than the original Superstay because they are convenient to just pop into your purse. The first shade we're going to start with is this one here. This shade is called Unapologetic. It does come with the exact same applicator as the Superstay. So here you guys can see it does come with the exact same applicator. One is just shorter than the other, but I do believe, in my opinion, that these two are the exact same shade. So we're going to see if my theory is correct. So I'm just going to be swatching this shade in Unapologetic. Matte liquid lipsticks do claim to be up to 16 hours of wear, and it does claim to be waterproof, so that is an interesting claim. So here we have the shade in Unapologetic, and then I am going to be swatching the shade in Globetrotter. I love this shade, you guys. So I'm just going to swatch it right underneath Unapologetic. It does have like a hint of a difference. Originally, when I did purchase this collection, I thought I probably have similar shades like this in my collection. But since it's in a collaboration with Puma and it's limited edition, I just needed to purchase it. I wonder if they dry down differently. That's the true test. We're just going to let these two sit on the back of my hand. I don't believe I do have a lip swatch video on this collection because I don't have the entire 20 shades. I have a couple of pieces. If you guys do want to see a lip swatch video, please let me know in the comments down below. Going back to the MAYBELLINE X Puma limited edition collection, I'm just going to be swatching this on my lips. I love this pumpkin S shade. It does complement my skin complexion. I really do love how this shade sits comfortably on my lips. Again, it does remind me of the shade in Globetrotter, which I love. So what I am going to be doing, I'm going to leave this shade in Unapologetic. Even though with one swipe, in my opinion, it didn't cover up my upper lip. It's not as pigmented as I thought it was just with one swipe, so we can build it up. Let's build up just the top layer. I do want to see if this is buildable. And then of course I'm going to be removing the bottom of Unapologetic and I'm going to be applying the shade in Globetrotter so we can see if it's truly the exact. And I believe I should probably not talk when I'm applying this. So give me 1 second. So I've already built up the shade in Unapologetic on my upper lip. So now for my bottom lip, I'm just going to remove the shade in Unapologetic and we're going to apply the shade in Globetrotter. It might not be an exact dupe, but just in case if MAYBELLINE X Puma collection does discontinue, just so you guys have some options. I definitely think the shade in Globetrotter is more pigmented than the shade in Unapologetic. Kind of wearing off as I'm building it up, so let me do a 3rd layer. Now I have 3 layers of the shade in Unapologetic on my upper lip, and then my bottom lip, we just have that 1 layer. The formula is the exact same, it's just this one is a hint darker than the shade in Globetrotter. But I actually like the shade in Globetrotter way better than Unapologetic. What do you guys think? Let me know in the comments down below. I wonder if anyone would notice if I wore this throughout the day. One shade is different than the bottom shade. Maybe they will think that it's the exact same shade, but maybe it wore off differently. I'm super curious on what the other shades do look like. Let's get into the other swatches. Closer look of what those two shades do look like when they are completely dried down. I'm just gonna do a swatch test so I can show you guys. A little bit does transfer. Let's do this shade in Globetrotter, which I love. Oh my goodness, no way. Do you guys see that? I'm like literally rubbing this and it's not coming off. Whereas the shade in Unapologetic, which is supposed to be a 16-hour wear, it's completely transferring off. Now we know it's probably not 16-hour wear. In addition to these dry down swatches, I am going to be applying a fresh swatch as well, so that way you can see what it looks like when you first apply it and then when it dries down. Moving on to the next shade in Epic. This reminds me of the shade Inspire. The packaging does look quite similar. Again, we have the shade Epic and here we have the shade in Inspirer. So let's just see what this shade looks like. I'm just going to do a live swatch for you guys so you can see what the shade in Epic looks like. So that's one swipe of Epic, and then we're going to swatch the shade in Inspirer. This I don't really gravitate towards. I normally mix this shade with other shades in my collection. But wow, Epic is super lighter than Inspirer. It's not as pigmented either. So I was expecting more from the Maybelline X Puma collection. Now we're going to swatch the shade Epic on my lips. Not a huge fan of the shade in Epic. It does wash me out. We are going to be applying the shade in Inspire. This time I'm going to apply it on my top upper lip. I'm going to leave my bottom lip in the shade Epic. Okay, so now that we've removed the shade in Epic, I'm going to apply the shade in Inspire on my top upper lip. Way pigmented than the shade in Epic. So here's what my lips do look like. On the bottom we do have the shade in Epic. So far I'm not really liking the Puma X Maybelline. I'm actually loving my Superstay. They are more pigmented whereas these aren't as pigmented. Let's hope that the next shade is better. We do have these two dried down swatches. Again, take my two clean fingers and we're just going to rub it. So we do have a little bit of transfer for both of these shades. Again, the top one is Epic, the bottom shade is Inspirer. So it does have a little bit of transfer. It took me a hot minute to remove those swatches from my lips. It was not budging with a makeup wipe alone. I had to go in using a makeup oil. So definitely something to keep in mind if you are going to be wearing this for a couple of hours. So let's move on to the next shade. The next shade in the collection is called Fearless. It's this beautiful mauve shade, and something similar to my collection that I do have is a shade called Founder. Again, I know the packaging isn't identical, but this is what in my collection that I do have. Here we have the shade in Fearless and then we have the shade in Founder. So let's see what the shade Fearless looks like. I have high hopes for the shade, you guys. I expect it to be pigmented and last a pretty long time. Ooh, yes. And then I'm going to be swatching the shade in Founder. Probably not identical. Yeah, it's not identical. But it's similar to what I have in my collection. That was the super bad swatch, you guys. We're going to see what the shade does look like. I'm going to be applying the shade in Fearless all over my lips. I actually love this shade in Fearless. It does complement my skin complexion. I really do like how pigmented this shade is over the other two shades that we did try on. And what I did also notice about this shade in Fearless is that it did cover up my dark upper lip. So if you are going for anything in this collection, I would highly recommend purchasing the shade in Fearless. I want to apply the shade in Founder on my bottom lip so you guys can see what this looks like. It's definitely not budging. It dried down completely. Yeah, so just using a makeup wipe alone, it's not coming off. So if you want to get this off, try using a makeup oil or just keep rubbing your lips. Now that we've completely removed the shade in Fearless, I'm going to apply the shade in Founder on my bottom lip. I love this shade, you guys. I love how pigmented it is. And it complements my skin complexion too. Again, I know not exact dupes, but I do love both of these shades. Again, these two shades were super difficult to remove from my lips. The next shade in the Maybelline X Puma collection is called Unstoppable. I don't have anything in the Superstay Matte Ink collection that is similar to this shade in Unstoppable, so I am just going to be swatching this shade. You guys know I love my purples, so let's see what this looks like. Ooh, very pretty. Let's see what this looks like applied to the lips. This shade in Unstoppable reminds me of Rihanna's new Stunna lip paint shade. I forgot what it's called. I was thinking about purchasing that purple shade. I think it's called Undefeated. If you guys are interested in seeing the 3 brand new Stunna lip paints that Rihanna did release, let me know and I'll do a lip swatch video for you guys. I really do love this matte liquid lipstick in the shade Unstoppable. It complements my skin complexion. I love how pigmented this shade is. So let's move on to the last shade in this collection. The last shade in the collection is called Fierce. I do want to compare it to the shade in Originator. These look like exact dupes in my opinion. Packaging wise, this one looks a little bit darker, whereas this one looks a little bit lighter. But let's see what these two look like. Again, we do have the shade in Fierce. I love my deep dark purples. And then we have the shade in Originator. I love this shade too. It's gorgeous. Again, I'm going to be applying the shade in Fierce all over my lips. My lip swatches are getting kind of sloppy towards the end, but here's the shade in Fierce. I really wanted to love this shade, but it's not as pigmented, so I really did have to layer this twice in order to get full opacity. I do like the color, I just don't like the formula. I wish that they would be more pigmented. Again, I'm going to be removing this shade in Fierce, and I'm going to be applying the shade in Originator. Let's actually remove the bottom lip and we'll leave the top lip on. Let's apply the shade in Originator. It's kind of similar. But see how Originator is more pigmented? And it's with one swipe. I don't have to dig back in. So again, here we have the 2 different shades. We have Fierce on my upper lip, and then we have the shade in Originator on my bottom lip. What do you guys think? Let me know in the comments down below. As I did state earlier in the video, I am going to be doing a freshly applied swatch versus the dried down swatch. So again, here we have the shade in Unapologetic, and that was the first shade here. So here is a freshly applied swatch. Here is Unapologetic, and it's dried down. And of course, we're going to apply the shade in Globetrotter. And then we have the dried down. We're going to do these 2 here. Here's what Epic looks like. And then we have the shade in Inspirer right next to it. Right next to Inspire, we have this beautiful mauve shade in Fearless. And then here's what Originator looks like. We have Unstoppable. And here we have Fierce. And then the last shade in Originator. So here's what all of these swatches look like. Wet and then dried. Here is a closer look again, wet and then dried. My final thoughts on the Maybelline X Puma collection is that I don't really like this collection. I only like 1 shade out of the 5 shades in this collection, and that's in the shade Fearless. It was that mauve shade that I loved. It complemented my skin complexion. It was pigmented. These 4 shades, on the other hand, weren't as pigmented. I do feel like the Maybelline Superstay Matte Ink were better. They were better opacity. Looking for a dupe, well, not really, but I would highly recommend you guys purchasing these instead of the Maybelline X Puma collection, because I do feel like these are better formulated than these were, and you're paying the exact same price. They're $9.49 at Ulta. I'm pretty sure these are also sold at Walgreens, CVS, Rite Aid, all of the drugstores out there, but I purchased all of mine at Ulta because you guys know I want my points. If you guys did enjoy this video, please go ahead and give it a thumbs up, and if you haven't already, please do subscribe. I will see you guys in my next video.